Today we're going to create a custom collage in the Canva free version. So from the Canva home screen, I'm going to scroll along to custom size, and then I'm going to type in a width and height of 1000 by 1000 pixels. Now create a new design. Now I'm going to go to Elements and go down to Frames, and I'll click on a square frame. And I want to create a section of frames here where we've got 4 different corners and there's something different in each corner. So we'll begin with this square here, then I'll duplicate it and bring it over, but I want to leave a little gap like this. And then I'm going to have 2 rectangles here. Try and keep these gaps between them about the same. Then we can duplicate this, and I'm going to have a couple of rectangles down here. And then finally, I'm going to have 2 smaller squares, then a slightly larger rectangle, and then one final smaller rectangle here. You can choose whatever layout you want for yours, but it's good to have the 4 corners of the picture being different. So let's now select all of these, and we'll click Group. And now I'm going to use the rulers, so we'll get rid of this menu here. And we want to use these rulers on the side, and if you don't have those, you can go to File, Settings, Show Rulers and Guides. We want to create an area that is 250 by 250, so that'll be about 1/16 of the canvas. So click and hold on this side and take it along until it says 250 at the top, and if you can't quite get it, you might need to zoom in a bit until it says in the purple there 250, and then you can do the same by clicking and holding at the top and bringing a horizontal line down and take that to 250 as well. And you'll see now that we've got this little square up here. Once you've got the group all selected, click and hold and just pull it into that place. And after you've done that, you can get rid of the lines by clicking and holding and dragging them across till they're off the screen. And the next thing we want to do is to duplicate the frames that we've got here. So duplicate, zoom in, and we just want to keep this area the same between the different frames. Then we can click and duplicate again, and then we can duplicate again. Zoom out, select all of them, and then duplicate. This time, instead of just putting it directly next to, we want to just change it slightly so that the bottom line of this square here lines up with the top line of the square next to it. So something like this. Don't worry if you don't get it exactly. And then just duplicate this bottom one here and bring that to the bottom to finish off that row. And what that means is you've just got a staggered effect, a bit like a masonry effect with the frames. Select all of them, duplicate and bring them over. So now we should have the whole of the canvas covered. And now just select everything and click Group. So all of the frames are now selected. And we also at this point want to click on the lock button. Now add a page, and we can go to Elements, go back and then go to Graphics, and we'll type in Head and Shoulders Silhouette. We'll choose a non-pro silhouette, so one without the crown on, like this one here. Now we can increase the size of that a bit and center it. Now go down to Apps and type in Shape Cutout. We want this app here, so click on that. Now click on Export Design. And down at the bottom here, we want to just select page 2 and click Done. and then click export. Now click on the head and it should turn pink, and then click cut out and add to design. So now we have that frame but as a cutout. So we can delete the first bit here that we have. And if you now move this frame over the other ones here, you should find that you have the effect of a custom collage. If this has dropped into one of the frames, that's because you need to remember to lock the frames beforehand. So if I select them all again and click the unlock button, you'll find that the frame will drop into one of the frames here. So we'll undo that, select them all again and click the lock button, and then we can drag this over the top. You might want to just add a little bit of size so it fits over exactly. And then if we zoom in, we can now click on the white area and go to position and go to layers, and you should find all of your frames here all grouped together. So we can click on this lock button here, and then we can click on the lock button here to unlock the frames. And what that means is that we can now put images into the frames. So if you go back up to elements and then go to photos, you can begin to select some photos and just drop them into the frames as you want, like this. Now I'm going to fast forward a bit so that we've got all of these frames filled. Once you have all of your frames filled, we'll just zoom out. This might be a time to actually drag this cutout back into the other frame, just temporarily, so that you can click on any of the individual pictures you have, and when that cutout's removed, you can double click and you can move and crop the images around how you want them to be. So if there's any images that are not showing as you want them to, you can then double click on them and edit them at this point, but you will need to remove the cutout from the top first. So we need to remember to lock all the frames again before we take the cutout back. So let's click on the frames here, go to position, and then down here you click the lock button. That'll make it safe to move the cutout back over. One other thing to say at this point is that you can also put an outline around this custom collage if you go to edit and then go down to shadows, click see all and click on outline, and then you can change the size of that outline and you can change the color here as well. You'll see that the outline comes on the edge of the square as well, so just make sure that's off the screen. Now I'm going to take the outline off again. So that we can now save this image. So go to share, download, just page 1. So I'll click current page, click done and download as a PNG. And then if you want to remove the background of the image so that the white area becomes transparent, go over to apps, type in erase background, choose this app here, and then go and find the file that you've just saved by clicking choose file. And once you have it there, you can click remove background. It will then put it into the design and the background will be removed. So if we put it down here, we can change it to a black background and you'll see that the background of the custom collage has now been removed. So you can place it on another background if you want, or you can give it another outline effect, maybe a glow here in a different color. But that's how to create a custom collage in Canva free version. I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you today. Please do subscribe to the channel to learn more about Canva.